And I'm going to just give you a couple things here about marketing, and then we're going to get right into it. I got to tell you though, honestly, if you got nothing else from my training, if you would just get this part of my training, you could really make a lot of money in merchant services. Now, you wouldn't necessarily make a lot of money in the next couple months, but over the next year, you would generate a really steady flow of leads if you would do the things that I talk about. The stuff I'm going to explain to you today, honestly, is not complicated at all. I doubt there'll be anybody on the call that won't understand every single thing that I say. The problem isn't that it's complicated. The problem is that nobody does it. It's not expensive. It doesn't cost any money. And it's really not particularly time consuming, but for whatever reason, most sales agents don't have the discipline to do the detail work that I'm going to describe to you today. But I am here to tell you that if you will do the things that I described today, there is no doubt in my mind that you will be able to generate a strong and steady flow of leads from your local market if you'll follow this advice. So first of all, let's look at marketing. What is marketing? My definition of marketing here, this is not the dictionary definition, but this is my definition. Marketing is a group of related tasks that generate qualified leads. All right. Now, a lot of people look at marketing in different ways. They think of marketing only as, well, marketing is sending out mailers, or marketing is, online pay-per-click advertising, or marketing is billboards. Marketing is, things like that. And of course, that's all part of marketing, but that's not marketing by itself. And if you just use those by themselves, you are going to get a terrible return on your investment. All right. There's a reason why large companies are investing more and more money in the things that I'm going to talk to you about today. They're investing in social media. They're investing in blogs and websites and information technology. Those things are all becoming more and more important. And just sending out a mailer is not a very efficient and effective way to market. Just calling people, that's not a very effective way to market. Just going out and knocking on doors, that's not an effective way to market. Just doing billboards would not be an effective way to market. So you have to tie everything together. These are related tasks. So all of these tasks are related to each other. You can't look at one individually and then decide that that's how you're going to market. They all are related. You have to do all of them. And the idea is you want to make sure you're generating qualified leads. So the three different ways that I break marketing down for myself is you have prospecting, you have branding, and you have communication. Now, prospecting is gathering information. Now, I get a lot of heat from other people in the industry that tell me that my model just is too difficult because it requires agents to go out in the field or over the phone and actually cold call or walk into businesses cold turkey and build their business that way. And a lot of the criticism that, when I've talked to different people, it's more of a skepticism, I guess. They look at it like, how can that possibly work for you? And the reason why is because they look at that as if that is the only avenue of my marketing. And it's not. It's my prospecting. And the thing that I love about going door to door is that I can gather information on every single business on a street. And that's very powerful. But it's only powerful if you're gathering the information. If you're not gathering the information, then really it's not the best way to build your business. Because if you're just walking into one business after another, after another, after another, after another, or just calling one business after another, and you're not gathering any information, all you're doing is searching for people you can sell right now, then that is going to be a very inefficient way for you to market. Now, you can do prospecting in several different ways. There's a lot of different ways to gather information, but that's what prospecting is. So prospecting might also be having a website, and people come to the website and they enter their information on your website and send that to you. That's prospecting. You might be over the phone and you're talking to people and gathering information. You might send out a mailer as a form of prospecting. For instance, if you send out a mailer, let's say you send out the 10,000 piece postcard mailer to your market, and it's not targeted, it's just sent to all the business owners, that would be called prospecting, because you're prospecting because you don't know anything about these people, so your goal is really to gather information. All right. Next, you also have branding. Now, branding is building trust and establishing yourself as an option in the customer's mind. Now, here's what I mean by that. Customers on their own are going to get to decision points. Now, when you go out prospecting, a lot of times you can create your own decision point. You can talk somebody into making a decision. But branding basically allows you to be in the customer's mind when they on their own get to a decision point. Let me give you an example. Let's say that a customer has a problem with their credit card terminal, and their credit card terminal is acting up. If you have done good branding in your local market and that customer has your business card, or they know who you are, they've seen you several times, or maybe the client that's next door to them uses you, and they might call their current company and not get the service that they want, and so because of your branding they might contact you because you are an option in the customer's mind. So branding is all about putting yourself in the customer's mind so that they remember you. Now, the reason why I say a postcard mailer would be prospecting is because a postcard mailer will not really build your brand. It's not going to stick you in a customer's mind. If they come to a decision point, let's say you send them a postcard, they look at your postcard and they throw it away. A week later, their credit card terminal goes bad. They're not going to call you because you sent them a postcard. Now, prospecting can get you some information because if you give them a good offer, they might contact you, but you're creating a decision point. You're not taking advantage of decision points that are already happening. And that is where really most of your leads can be generated, is if you get enough information and then you use that information to build your brand, then you're going to be in the mind of all these hundreds of business owners all over your market. And when these decision points inevitably come up and they feel like, I wonder if I am paying too much for my credit card processing. Maybe I should call and get some bids. If your name pops up in their mind, that is because of branding. And we're going to talk about how to do that in a minute. But that's branding. So understand the difference. When you do different activities in your business, there's a huge difference between trying to create a decision point and taking advantage of a decision point. When you do pay-per-click marketing online, okay, that is taking advantage of a decision point. That's why pay-per-click marketing is so much more effective than mailers. It's because a mailer says, this person may or may not be at a decision point, but I'm going to send them a postcard anyway and see if maybe I can create a decision point or create interest. Whereas marketing online with pay-per-click says, this person is already searching for my services, and so they're already at that decision point. And one of the big problems with pay-per-click marketing that we'll talk about in another webinar is that some people don't understand that concept, and they don't use pay-per-click marketing effectively because they don't take advantage of decision points. They just throw this information out for everybody and they don't target it. And you're trying to target it to people that are at a decision point. Okay, so now we've done our prospecting, we've gathered information, now we've done branding and we've established our brand in the customer's mind. Then we are going to communicate. Communication uses the information you have and the brand you've built to contact qualified prospects and to generate these leads. There's a lot of different ways you can communicate. You can do a follow-up call, a follow-up visit in a place of business. You can send them a letter. You could send them an email. All these different ways of communication. But communication comes from you gathering the right information, building the right kind of brand. Then that allows you to effectively communicate your message to potential clients. Now, here's a quick test for you. If you want to know, am I on the right track with my marketing efforts in my business? All right, here's a question. Could you pull up a list somewhere that you have, that you maintain? Could you tell me the name of each business you visited last week, the name of the owner, and the category of interest into which they fell? In other words, were they not interested? Do they already have another processor they're happy with? What are these different reasons why they did not buy or they did buy? What level of interest are they at? Could you name every single business that you visited last week? Now, I'm going to tell you guys this one thing real quick, and then we're going to get into some real specifics with the email marketing, but I really want to stress this point to you. If you guys would take 2 or 3 months of full-time work, and while you're making sales, gather every single bit of information that you could, store that information in a way that it can be used again, 2 or 3 months from now, your business would be solid and would be so much more steady that it's difficult for me to even explain to you. It's hard for me to explain the difference to an agent between you pulling up to a street and let's say there's 50 businesses on that street. There's such a huge difference between you saying, I'm going to go into every one of these 50 businesses and I don't know anything about them, and a difference between that and you pulling up to the same street and actually having a prospect list that has every single one of those businesses on it with notes from the last 3 times that you hit that street. I'm telling you guys, the difference between that is 2 or 3 sales, literally. You can go to that street and you can get 2 or 3 more sales within a couple days because you have that information. That information is so valuable. And if you aren't into all the high-tech stuff and, I show you this stuff and you think, wow, that's too high-tech for me. Okay, that's fine. Just do this, okay? Take a piece of paper and put the name of each street in your market on that paper that you go to hit. Write down as much information as you can on that street, on that piece of paper, file it away, and go back again every month to the same street and keep adding to your page of information. If that's all you did, and maybe you had a little notepad, and you bought a big, huge, maybe you bought 50 legal pads, all right? I'm telling you that you can do a low-tech solution here. Get 50 legal pads, and if you have a bunch of really long streets in your market with a bunch of businesses, use that legal pad and put the address down of each business you stop at, the name, and put notes there, and then leave a few spaces, and then do the next one. And then when you go back, add more notes. And if all you did was that, I promise you would triple your sales in 6 months. I'm not, and you guys know me, I'm not somebody that exaggerates and tells you crazy things that can't come true. I promise you guys, if you would do that, 6 months from now, your sales would be triple of what they are right now. I have no doubt of that at all. If you're still going out the same amount of time as you are now, but with that information, your sales will be triple of what they are right now. Now, in order to make that work, though, you have to become passionate about gathering the information. You have to get out there and work hard. I mean, when I first started in this business, I was working nonstop, and I was out there, and I'm telling you, I visited 30, 40, 50 businesses a day sometimes. And I was gathering information so that now when I go out, I mean, I don't even need to prospect. I mean, I go to a street and I go, well, let's see, I'm on this street. Oh, you know what? There's 5 people on the street that I feel pretty confident I could sell right now because I know everything about them. I've talked to them 10 times, and boom, I go to those 4 or 5 people, I sell 2 or 3 of them, and I'm done. And that's all it takes for me. I mean, guys, if I want to get 2 or 3 sales a week, that takes me about 3 or 4 hours. I just go out in the field, I pull up my information that I already have on everybody in that street, go to the ones that I know are high potential, I get a few sales, I go home. It's literally that easy. And after you've been doing it the way that I've been doing it for several years, it'll be that easy for you as well. So, all right. Now, before we get to questions, actually, let me go pull up something here. All right. Let me share this screen here, make it a little bit bigger. Okay. We are in MailChimp.com, all right? Now, this is called MailChimp.com. So, if you don't have a MailChimp.com account yet, it is free to get one, and you go right there, MailChimp.com. So, make sure you do that. So, once we get off this call, everybody go to MailChimp.com and sign up for a free account because it's free. All right, now let me show you how to do some stuff here, okay? So, you create, you get this account with MailChimp. So, what do you do? Okay, once you got this thing, you go to Create List. Click on Create the List. Now we're going to put the list name. Always remember that your customers may be able to see your list name. So, you put something in here like local businesses. Default from name, you want this to be your name. Default reply to email, it's going to be my email. So in other words, you're going to send out this really fancy email, and if somebody hits reply to it, it's going to send it to that email address. Now, your default subject line, let me give you one that I do. I really like this one. I do something like this. I do Altoona Area Small Business Update. So you pick, the city that's in your area that's like a larger city in your area. Mine would be Altoona. So when people pull up the email, by default, that's the subject line. Now, you can change that later, but I like that subject line as a default. Altoona Area Small Business Update. That's something that most small business owners would open, and they would take a look at that. Then you're going to write a short reminder about how the recipient, joined your list. So you need to make sure and remind them, because otherwise when they get their email, if they click that it's spam, then you are going to get blocked from MailChimp really quickly. And of course you don't want that. So you can put on here something like, you are receiving this email because you signed up at our website, something like that. And then you might want to put the website address or whatever. Now down here you can check, and I always check both of these. Email me when someone subscribes to my list or when someone unsubscribes from my list. Especially the unsubscribe. Now the subscribe one isn't that important when you're starting out because most people, you're going to be the one subscribing them manually. But if you have a website and you're going to put an email list on there, then you want to have that. I do not check this one where people can pick their email format. I like to have it where it comes to them however I send it. So we click save. Now we have this new list with 0 people in it. Local businesses. Now what you can do is, you can do a couple things. First of all, you can go down here to settings, fields, and merge tags. And here's where you can add some fields. So if you click down here, add field, you can select which things you might want to add. I try to put, again, as much information as I can into this list. And so, you might want to put in there an address. And then, of course, you change this name. This is what the customer will actually see as the address field. There's a lot of different ones that you can add in here, but a website you can put in here. I always have the zip code in there. That's an important one that I like to have in there. So there's a lot of different ones. You can just do a text field where you just name it whatever you want, and put that in there. So you can do that. Now that's really important. Now there's a couple other things that I do though. I'm going to show you something that's really important. So you have your email list, and now when you go into a business and you talk to a prospective business owner, always get their email address. I always say, hey, I have a great small business newsletter that I send out once a month, and I would really like to send that to you so at least you can get some of my updates. Would you mind if I sent that to you? Most business owners will say, no, that's fine. And I even tell them, I feature businesses, and if you'd like me to feature you in my newsletter, I have quite a few people on my subscriber list. So I'd be glad to feature your business at some point. We have a good waiting list right now, but feel free to let me know about that. So anyway, I use a lot of things like that. I really try to convince people to get on my email list, business owners in my local market. And so that's a couple things you can do to build the list. Now here's what you want to do though. You want to click on groups up here at the top. I'm going to wait for the view to catch up. We click on groups. Now here's where you can really get some powerful stuff. You want to click on create groups. And up here you have a couple options. You can use a checkbox, radio button, a select menu. This is for people to check. So for instance, one that I do is I do a checkbox, and group title is accepting credit cards. Then the group name is going to be yes and no. Okay, so now we have a checkbox. So now people can check yes or no that they are currently accepting credit cards. And that's a good group. I like to have that group in there. Now let me show you another group that's really important though. We're going to create a group here. I like to use this right here, the don't show these groups on my sign up form. That means that the customer is not going to see these groups. These are just for your view only. And here's the groups that I put in, all right? I have a group that's called status. And here's the group names that I put in. I put active, and I'll explain these in a second, canceled, met, owner or decision maker, and I do provided cost analysis, all right? Now, here's what I do. When I go and key in information about a customer, which I'm going to show you how to do in just a minute, I actually go in and select which one of these. So if it's an active customer, I make them an active customer. If they're canceled, if they have my service and they canceled, I log back in and I change them to canceled. If I met the business owner, but that's as far as we got, then I put them there. And if I provided a cost analysis, then I put that in there. That way I can target my emails for each of those different groups. So for instance, if I provided a cost analysis to somebody and already know that I showed them I could save them money and I gave them a cost analysis, I might send them a more detailed email talking about our service and the benefits. I might send them, some things about why they would be able to trust me. I might send them things about our Better Business Bureau rating, or I might send them things, about other customers that are using me in the local market. And so I'm really going to try to focus with that group on building trust, because if I provided a cost analysis and they did not become my customer, then probably there's a trust issue and they don't trust me yet. So if I send them a lot of emails about trust and about, all the good things that we do, then they might begin to trust me more and might decide to switch over to me, and they already have my cost analysis. if all I did was met the owner or the decision maker, I'm only going to send them my monthly newsletter because I really don't have, permission from them, so to say, to send out a whole bunch of different emails because, that person's going to be offended if I send them an email every, 2 weeks. Whereas the people I provided a cost analysis to, they're not going to mind if I follow up with them. Even once a week, I might follow up with them and send out a quick update email with why, people are using our service. But if all I did was met the owner, then I'm just going to send them my monthly newsletter and they can see stuff about my company there. If somebody is a canceled customer, then again, there's different things I might send them. Once every 6 months, I might send an email out that says, we miss you, please come back and join us, or whatever. And I might have a special offer to people that canceled to get them to come back on my service. Customers that are active, I might send out special offers about additional services. Every 3 or 4 months, I usually send an email out about electronic check services, gift cards. When we go into the holiday season, I'm going to send all my customers, a gift card thing. So, you can do that. So again, this is all groups within the one list. So you might get 300 or 400 people on your email list, but you have different groups and you might only have 50 or 60 that are active customers. And when you send an email, you can select which groups you're gonna send that to. Okay, so let's go ahead and save this group. Done for now. Now we're gonna go back up here to the top and we're gonna click on lists. Okay, let me wait for some of the screens to catch up here. All right, so we're gonna click on lists up at the top. Now in here in the list, you can click on import. So if you have a big Excel spreadsheet and you already have email addresses there, you can import it. Or you can click on add people. So let's go down here and let me add myself. Actually, I'll add Christina on here, my wife. Okay, so we'll add ours in here. Here's those 2 fields that we forgot to title. Now notice down here we can say accepting credit card, yes. Status. Let's say this is, provided a cost analysis. Then you have to check this. This recipient has given me permission to add him or her to my MailChimp managed list. Click subscribe. Okay, so here's the information about that person. Now, I'm going to show you something that is so cool on MailChimp that I don't have time to get into too much of the details here, but once you sign up for your MailChimp.com account, you can go up, you can go to accounts down here and see all kinds of information about this. But you can also, they have all kinds of help. So they have really good tutorials you can go through for MailChimp, so watch those. But I do want to show you one thing. This history down here is just so cool, this activity history. In fact, let me go to a different list so I can actually show you that real quick. Let's go to this list here. Click on View All. And, I don't know. I'm just going to randomly click on one here. All right, let me scroll down past this. Okay, now look at this here. Activity history, okay? This shows all the emails that I sent this person. But notice how it's kind of interesting. It was back on October 4th. That's the last time that they opened one of my emails. So I can see on October 4th that they opened an email from me. Then I can see that they clicked this link that was in the email. All right. So you can see which customers are actively looking at your services. So let me give you an example here. Let's say that you made an email and you sent it out to all of your prospective customers. And in that email, there was a link to your website about a special offer for free equipment. Okay. You could look in that campaign and see which people clicked on that link. So you would see, oh wow, Bob and Joe and Bill, they all 3 business owners clicked on that link about free equipment. Well, what should you do? Well, the next day you go visit their business and you now have a qualified lead and say, hey Bill, I just want to check in with you. Have you enjoyed that newsletter I've been sending out? And they say, oh yeah, I actually saw that yesterday. Oh, that's great. We're having that free equipment offer. Did you take a look at that? And they say, yeah, I did. Man, I'm telling you, that's a powerful lead right there. So again, marketing is a group of related tasks that generate qualified leads. So this would be a qualified lead. You can go in there and you know who opened your email, you know who clicked on it, and that is very, very, very powerful information. Okay? So let's go back up here to lists. So now we can see here, I think I added, let's see, subscribers. We have 1 subscriber that we added on there. And so anyway, then let me show you one other thing here. Let's go back to the dashboard. You can go to the dashboard here, and that'll show you people that subscribe to your newsletter and stuff like that. You can go up here to create a campaign, and you can do 2 different kinds of campaigns. You can do a plain text campaign. Now that's just going to send a regular old email, and I actually like doing that sometimes. It's a quick way and to send it out. And also when you send these plain text emails, let's say we're going to send it to, all of our sales agents here. Send to the entire list, and we name the campaign, I don't know, XYZ. Next. Okay, now merge sheet right here. I'm just showing you a few things you can do. Again, guys, you're going to have to look at the actual training to see all the stuff you can do. But I could go right here and hit star like this, and I could go first name, star like this, comma, and then say whatever I want down here. I was just thinking about the visit that we had recently or whatever, okay? So now it's going to have that person's first name in the email, all right? So you can do stuff like that. You can have the person's last name. You can have any of the business type. You can have anything else that you put in the email list. You can put in there in that email, okay? You can also click help up here, up in the upper right-hand corner, and that'll give you some help topics that you can use there. All right, let's save and exit that. Okay, and I'm going to delete that so I don't forget about it. You can delete the campaign here. Okay, all right, so that's how you send campaigns. Now, if you go to a plain, that was plain text campaign. Let's go back. You can also do a regular old campaign. So you can also send to a segment down here. Let's say we want to send to a segment. Now, we have down here, I can do date added. I can do group status, like for my sales agents, I have if you're an active agent with me or if you're not active. So I could say, okay, I only want to send it to my not active sales reps, and I could click, use that segment. All right, hit next. Now what I can do is I can choose one of their templates. I have templates that are in here. You can select here, and you can select a different template that you might want to send out. You can see all these different options over here for Thanksgiving, for, they have all these different possible options you can do. Restaurants, you could send out something. Maybe if you send it to restaurants, you can do business type groups, and you might add a group type to all of your emails. Now, I haven't done this, but it would be a good idea. You could add a business types that was either retail or restaurant or other. And you might send out a specific email just to retail or just to restaurants, and you could use something like this, one of these, here's an email template. So now you can click on here, and you can edit that email, and you can change a lot of things in that email. So again, I hope that helps you out. Now that's MailChimp, and you're gonna have to watch to get more information, you're gonna really have to watch the help videos. But the bottom line, guys, is you want to go into MailChimp, and you want to do two things. Number one, you want to make sure that you're recording all the information and trying to gather email addresses. It's a great way to generate leads. You're going to want to send out like a monthly newsletter that would be interesting to business owners. Don't send emails more than once every couple weeks. Even if it's, good prospects, you usually want to stick to maybe every couple weeks or once a month. And target your emails to specific groups. Then also you have to have procedures in place that you got to remind yourself to go in and update the information. So if somebody cancels, you need to go in and change their status to canceled. If you get a new prospect, you have to have a time, maybe it's once a week, where you go in and add all the new email addresses that you have. You go in and add those, all right? And so this is a great way to do that. You can also use this with your social media, and I'm going to show you how to do that when we get into the social media and blogging webinar, which I don't think is next week. I think it's a couple weeks after that. But coming up on a Tuesday, we have a marketing webinar about using social media, and I'm going to show you guys how to tie all of these activities together. Your follow-up with customers, your email campaigns, your social media. I'm going to show you guys how to basically do free marketing that is going to generate you many, many more leads than any paid marketing campaign you would do on the kind of budget that we're working with. And I'm going to show you how to do a lot of free stuff. So anyway, I hope that helps you. Now,